Trigger warnings for episode 16 include PTSD, mycophobia, stalking, paralysis, needles, minor descriptions of body horror, death, cuts, and blood. A list of the topics, themes, and subject matter featured in this episode can be found in the description. So we return to the last Arcanist in this dust-covered house here where Yara grew up. Echoes of the life that was once a happy, loving, and caring home where we see beds, chairs, a small kitchen. But now it is simply a stark reminder of all that was lost during the unraveling. Maybe even things greater than Yara realizes in this moment. As we move throughout the space, everyone in their various locations, we saw on Thessalus here in the living room. Just finishing a conversation with Róisín, where they shared an embrace, and Róisín fed to satiate that hunger. But there was a question that Róisín left Thessalus to think on, and that question was, what would he want to be? Thessalus gave an answer in that moment, but Róisín encouraged to continue to think on it. As this cool breeze moves through the broken window that looks just outside of this house, where we see a tall tree, great for climbing, resides as this cold air hits your naturally warm body, maybe warmer than most, in the relatively limited clothing that you are wearing, Thessalus. But that cold is enough that even for you would make you shiver a little bit in this moment. But as you stand there, Thessalus, what's going through your mind after that conversation with Róisín here?
Yeah, I think Thessalus is thinking about a lot of things. I think it feels new, maybe not entirely new now. Stuff he's been thinking about a lot ever since he kind of was brought back, and as he's kind of relearning who he was and what he is now. But it's new somewhat to think about kind of whatever he does want, as that idea, I think, has been kind of forming for him over the last kind of chunk of time in which they've been traveling together, with kind of moments that feel different to ways he's thought before. The moment when they were fighting the Tenebris for the first time, and he had a plan that he thought was a good one to prevent more Tenebris from being created, and found himself kind of hesitating over this trapped person, choosing to free them rather than prevent them from turning by killing them instead. I think mostly he feels rather than a willingness to do kind of whatever is needed. I think he's feeling an urge to protect things he cares about at all costs. And I think that kind of moving from that embrace and that kind of heightened experience in kind of Róisín's feeding, now with kind of this cold wind, I think feels almost more alone than usual. And he's not sure what exactly that feeling is. But it's kind of tied to the cold wind and to his kind of out of place existence here in a home.
As Thessalus reflects on that here, such a place, a home is supposed to be filled with warmth, but it is strange though, as that cold hits. It feels, that out of place feeling. I think as we see Thessalus stand there, in that moment, we start to move through the rest of the place as we push away from him. Where would we find Cordy in this moment?
I feel like Cordy has kind of just been looking around, knowing that Yara's father had this like workshop and stuff, and just seeing if there's anything else that's useful around, but trying to, be respectful, and also like looking at where Yara grew up and stuff, Yeah.
Yeah, I think as you look around here, Cordy, it's clear that while you have been able to find most things that were already here, there is little pieces of home and just remnants of someone that clearly had more that they wanted to do in life, more they wanted to accomplish, but they just ran out of time. And I think that's what you would find beyond anything that's useful. You would find some tools and things of that nature. But I think there would be some element that you would know. People probably have come here and taken some things on their travels, what they could in the time they had, as you look around the space.
Yeah, I think as Cordy, comes to realize that and has these thoughts about, in the time that they had, and that, maybe there was so much more that they could have done and stuff like that. He just kind of thinks on a moment of how lucky he feels to have this second chance. And I think he doesn't want to waste it.
Yeah. So as Cordy thinks on that, we take a moment. I think what we see is just like, as you kind of look through the spaces, we see Philip kind of crawl up, out, and just kind of looks around and like looks at you.
Hello.
And crawls down your arm and just like sits on the palm of or on the back of your hand.
Oh, where you going?
It just chills there.
Huh. All right. And I think maybe I will kind of just put my back up against the wall and just kind of sit with Philip for a bit. And I think every so often my eyes look out a window, and I think about like if there's any interesting mushrooms around. But I don't go get up and do anything about it yet.
Yeah, just kind of look out. Yeah, I think you see, I will say as you look out though, growing on, you see a few trees that are out there that have some leaves growing on them. you would see there are some of these kind of flat mushrooms growing out the side, almost looking like they almost look like oh my gosh, like little platforms coming out of them. And I think you would see there is some life out there. There's not necessarily a ton of it, but you see little like flicks of light. Not similar to the motes, but you see what would be like little fireflies flying around. But as Cordy kind of looks out at that, where would we find the rest of our folks here? Róisín, Doc, and Hugo. I know everyone kind of went in some different directions collectively.
I think Doc certainly has not left the room that they were in. I think Yar's sort of like, I think at this point, probably like laying in her old bed and just sort of looking up at the ceiling.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh. I think as you look up at the ceiling, make a knowledge reaction roll for me.
Okay. +2.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 with hope. Well,
With
hope doesn't matter. It's reaction.
Okay. As you look up, there's a moment when, as you lay on this bed, there's something you remember. It's the moment that there's a moment you remember specifically in this room, in this place, and you remember seeing your father gathering you all around. And again, that light shining in, this desperation in his face. And then there's another flash. We remember being in your, seeing your father walk out to his workshop and him desperately trying to do something to save himself as well in that moment. And I think as this memory flashes through you, you see this almost like large cylindrical device. It has a small needle on the end of it. And you see like a flash where he plunges it into himself. Into like just below his sternum. Not like there's some purpose behind it before the memory flashes back. Just like laying in this bed, being in this space in this moment.
I think remembering that, I think I would sit back. I think that would draw me, closer to the workshop. Draw my attention to wanting to sort of look around the workshop.
Yeah. I think as you go out to the workshop, getting up off the bed, and you go into the space, you would find kind of, you have been out here before. It's rare that you would come out here. And in this moment, you notice that there are some books that are still here, but you remember your father used to keep like a small metal box with other notes and things that he was working on within it. And you would see it's kind of tucked away to the side, still there in that moment. Does not have a lock on it or anything, but it is there.
Oh, I'm opening that baby up.
Yeah. As you open it up, you would see inside is what looks like some type of... I'm trying to think the best way to describe it. It's a small metal orb, and it has these various intricate designs on it. It's hollow, this orb, but it has all of these intricate designs. And you would see in the center of it, though, is some type of wire that attaches to another smaller sphere within. And it has, as you pick it up, it pulses with energy. And you would feel this like sense of not necessarily strength, but something more. Like there's more knowledge within, and this seems to increase just your general ability to tap into your knowledge as like a strength in this moment. And this object is something that increases your knowledge by 1.
Work. Lovely. Love to see it.
Which I believe is also your spell casting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So that means I have a +3 to knowledge.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, that's what you would see. So, but I think as you hold there for a moment, in this fraction of time, we kind of, as you hold this object in your hand here, we kind of push away from Doc. And where do we find Róisín and Hugo?
I mean, I think for Róisín, I think there might actually be a wee plop on one of the beds in the room that Yara's in. As Róisín just sort of pops out of invisibility and just sort of dramatically sighs, laying dramatically down on the bed, one of like an arm and a wing drifting over and just sort of swatting against the floor.
Amazing. I think as you do that, as you do that, oh my god. Can you make a instinct roll for me, Róisín?
Oh no. Let me see. That'll be a 14 with fear.
14 with fear. Róisín, as you lay here in this moment, you have been around for ages, and your connection to the realms of Atalantia are different than your companions. You are a Lananshi. There is things that come with that. You feel this world in an exponential way in comparison to someone else. And in that moment, you feel something familiar. But it is... You feel something familiar, but it is filled with venom. It is not angry, but hungry. More, it's hungrier than you've ever felt in your entire existence. And it's very old. Something that has been around for ages long before you.
Oh boy.
and you take a stress.
Oh, lovely. Just throw that on top of everything else. Yara? I'll need you to stand up now and get yourself prepared. Just in case.
What's happening?
There's something here, and it feels old.
Do you know exactly where it is? Can we find it?
Can I feel where it is?
You feel a resonance outside. It's somewhere outside. It's not not like this overwhelming, I would say. It's you get a sense that whatever this is, it's not in the house, it is somewhere outside. There's just like pulses of feeling in that moment.
Would you kindly maybe go and fetch the others? And then I'm just gonna take a quick look outside for a second, but fetch the others if you can.
Are you sure you want to go by yourself? You sure you don't want to wait for everyone to...
I'll just take a quick look.
Oh, okay.
Just to see if it is anything worth worrying about.
Please be safe.
I always am. I'll open up the window and very quietly fly out and head up to the rooftop and see if I can notice anything.
Okay.
And I'll go grab everybody.
Okay. You start going around. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll jump over to Hugo too before we as Doc is making their way to them. Before that though, Róisín, as you fly up on top of the roof to scan the area, could you make another instinct roll for me?
I'm going to spend a hope to use vampiric hunger to
Okay.
sort of open up my senses and see what I can almost taste on the wind.
Okay. Okay.
That'll be another 14 with fear. Oh wait,
14
no, that's a 9. That'll be 14. That'll be 14. 18 with fear.
Okay. As you reach out and kind of look to grab some type of a feeling of taste on the wind, you taste a moment of shock, of the sense of unsuspecting, of fear, but you also can sense this acrid smell of something that is rotting, and it's so like it burns your tongue how rancid this smell hits you in this moment. But I'll say with an 18, you catch something else within that. It's a smell of like a taste of like of incense, of like a burning pine, and you remember that smell, that taste. It is something your grandmother ashling used to burn. Another stress.
None of this bodes well at all. Not in the slightest. I'll just... I can't see anything, can I? Don't see anyone, it's just...
I'll say within 18, you see on the ground, you see a bit of crow's feathers on the ground, and you see what looks like drag marks. And they're kind of deep in the ground, like something heavy was dragged, and it's dragging towards a graveyard.
I will follow the path, and if it looks like I'm flying further away from the house than my comrades might be able to naturally follow, I'll just begin sort of leaving a trail of sort of like rose petals in my wake as I fly, almost like breadcrumbs, so that hopefully they can follow.
Absolutely. So as you take off, rose petals falling behind you as you leave these breadcrumbs for your companions, we'll cut back to the rest of the group for a moment as you follow what you see. Doc, you are heading around collecting everyone. Where do we find Hugo? What's Hugo doing in this moment? Here.
I had an idea for something of what Hugo was doing, but I'm more interested in knowing what is going on. I'm gonna be so honest. So my idea, which would completely kill the trajectory of what is happening right now, we can worry about it later. What is happening?
Okay. Cool. So Doc comes over and grabs you, and you all would everybody start moving with Doc outside, following that Róisín? What does Doc say to them, I guess? That would be my question.
Róisín should just be right outside. He said he wouldn't get himself in danger or anything. So he's going to be safe. So we should just be able to meet up Róisín. He said there was something perhaps dangerous and ancient, like really old, and like with a insatiable hunger.
I don't quite trust that Róisín wouldn't get himself in danger.
I don't know. He promised me, so of course, like.
Right. Okay.
I'm sorry. Did you say a malevolent dark energy he sensed outside?
Yeah, he said it was like a really ancient like being and presence.
Make an instinct roll.
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, what you looking for? What you doing?
I think Thessalus and Elanor don't really spend time outside of each other's senses. Whether one's looking at the other or aware of where the other person is, I think there's always that sense that they kind of know where each other are. And I think with that cold wind, and as he's been standing here kind of going through all these thoughts, I think Thesalus's mind kind of reaches a peak of why that kind of sense of loneliness is there and what's missing. I'd like to roll to see if he notices how not there Elanor is in this moment.
Go ahead and make an instinct roll for me in that moment. Yeah.
I'm going to spend...
Can I say that Hugo's already outside?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm going to spend a hope for Twin Blade.
Okay.
And that is 14 with hope.
14 with hope.
14's today.
I think as we see Hugo move outside and you just stand there for a moment, Thessalus, as Doc comes around to collect you and Cordy and Hugo, you would feel normally Elanor is within some type of close enough where there's just this thing, like you said, there's this connection and you have ideas of where to look. Like there's literally a tree right outside. There's, that's possible that she was there, but always kind of within proximity. But from that cold wind you felt earlier, there is something wrong. Elanor is it's been a while since she's been back. And I think that feeling, that gut feeling, toils within. Yeah, something's not right.
I think he starts technically grumbling to himself, but I think it sounds like a growl. As people kind of collect in the middle, and as Hugo heads outside, I think he'll say aloud as Doc's kind of, or as Yara's kind of trying to explain what's going on, he'll say, "Something's wrong," and he'll start kind of heading for the door as quickly as he can as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. As Hugo heads out, is Hugo doing anything specifically as they walk out the door?
I think immediately just like looking for any signs of Róisín. Yara said that he wouldn't be doing anything dangerous, and if they do a scope of the area and then probably find the location of where the drag marsh started and then the trail of petals. Of course he's not going to do anything dangerous aside from just walking off by himself. And then immediately also think, where's Elanor? And I think I would say that a telepathic bond would have already been in place for Elanor. But for the sake of the story and the fact that Dakota's not here, I think Hugo tries to reach out to her. You hear me? Where are you, Elanor?
There's no
response.
No, and you reach out like, cause you remember that, but there's no, it's like a wall.
Okay. And I think, did Thessalus say that he has stepped out?
Yeah, I think if kind of the group's moving, he'd stay probably more partially with them, kind of moving as quickly as he can. But if anyone's moving slower, maybe they'd separate. But otherwise, he's kind of over the group.
Yeah, no, I think
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, as soon as Thessalus starts to run out, I think Cordy grabs Yara's hand and follows. That's it.
Yeah.
That realization of the telepathic bond being broken or not there happens just as they look up and they see Thessalus's body come from around the corner.
I think he's just charging in. Where is she?
I can't reach her.
Elanor?
Yes, something is wrong.
One of you with magic. Do you have any way to sense?
I tried. I had my telepathic connection up, and I can't speak with her. She's not responding.
Where's Róisín?
And Hugo points.
Flying towards the graveyard, yeah.
I think Cordy, just seeing how frantic Thessalus is in this moment, is going to just reach his hands into the dirt and try to reach into the fungal network to kind of feel for disturbances in like a direction or something like that.
Yeah, of course. I think, and that doesn't require a roll, I don't believe, right?
It does. I need to do an
yes, that's right.
roll.
Okay, I thought it was. I was like, yeah. I'm like, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay.
Can I actually assist with that? Seeing that same thing happening?
Did you crit?
Not only did I crit.
Oh, okay. Just kidding.
2 12s?
It's double sevens, which is the number for my strange patterns feature that says whenever I roll that number, I gain a hope or clear stress.
It's only once, though. So it doesn't count for both. It only counts for one.
Still sick. I'm going to gain a hope. Oh, sorry. I'm full of hope. So I'll remove a stress.
Good.
There we go.
For now.
Yeah.
Amazing. As you reach into the ground, I think as you do in that moment, with a crit, this is what I'm going to give you here. You almost see flashes and moments where the spot where the crow feathers are is where it starts. There's a quick flash. And you see, you would feel the indentations where Elanor planted her feet, and you would see, based on the movement in the ground, she was going to draw an arrow. But the way the footprints look, it's clear the arrow was never fired in this moment. As you pick up on that, you sense iron in that space, as there are some small little mushrooms sprouted in the area. Blood here. And that cuts, and then you kind of push forward, and we almost see, like, in the ground as you move through the fungal network, we see Róisín above flying, and we see the trail of Cordy reaching out in this moment.
That's cool.
As you get to this graveyard and it sprouts out, and there's all these pulses. You know that there are souls that were lost here, whether that from long before the unraveling. But then it continues to follow, and you find amongst all of this is a disturbed, there's ground that has been disturbed. There is some type of grave that has been dug recently. But it's not, you kind of like push down as through the fungal network. You drop down about 6 feet, but it doesn't stop there. It seems to continue onward deeper into the ground. There is some tunnel that goes down deep. And you feel for a moment that there is this sense of, with a crit, I'll give you this. You sense Elanor, but she's unmoving in this moment.
I think you see Cordy's eyes go from pure white back to his normal eyes, and he goes, "We need to go that way." And I think as we start to go that way, I'll look down and see the petals. Róisín. And then there's a tunnel somewhere. I sense a presence there.
And I think at this point too, Tagwin has come out as well, and she's following too. And as we see Róisín flying in that direction, and Róisín, you would see this. You would see this like recently disturbed grave. You see the earth to the side. It is wet and damp, and it just goes down and kind of angles out as you all move in that direction here. And I think as we see that here, the rest of you approaching, and you arrive in that moment. Róisín, you would be there first. What is Róisín doing kind of as you take in this space and you start to see that disturbed ground, that grave there?
I think Róisín is going to call out in the language of the Lananshi. Are you here? I would have words with you. You are still willing?
Go ahead and make a presence roll for me.
And that'll be a 12 with hope.
Okay. There is no response.
In which case I will calmly walk up to the grave and see what awaits.
Mm-hmm. As the rest of you make your way into the cemetery, Yara, can you just make an instinct reaction roll for me for a moment? Yeah.
Okay. That's a 12.
12. Okay. I think...
I can make it a 15.
A 15 will definitely do it.
Okay, I'll make it a 15.
Okay. As you are following in, you would see 4 graves nearby each other. You see the names Zahara, Zuri, Kamara, and Yara.
Mhm. It is taking everything within Doc to not gravitate towards those in this time in which their friend is in danger.
Okay.
I think stays on path, but is trying so hard. In fact, actually, you know what? Let's see. I'm gonna roll.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Their good nature wins out. They say they stay on the path with their friends, trying to find Elanor.
Amazing. I think we see, I would say Thessalus, I'm guessing, probably gets there first amongst, or staying with.
This also in a full sprint, almost on all fours, charging the direction he was shown.
All right. You see Róisín standing in front of this recently unearthed grave, or gravesite. There's no tombstone. It is unmarked, but there is what appears to be a tunnel that seems to go further into the earth from this space.
Thessalus will, without thinking or a break in his step, charge right into the open grave.
Okay. As Thessalus goes, what's everybody else doing before I get to where he's going?
I think Doc is in the rear, just given the little pause they had with their seeing their own grave.
I guess maybe with Cordy having, reached out through the network, he might be kind of leading because he knows the way-ish right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hugo's following. I think the moment that they catch up and they see Róisín standing there, just kind of bump him on the shoulder with their staff. Don't run off like that.
It was fine. I wasn't in any real danger. Besides, you all came here quickly enough, so trail must have worked.
Let's follow.
Aye.
Are you okay?
I'm good. No harm, no foul.
All right. And Hugo will jump into the hole.
Okay.
There might be a foul. There were a lot of feathers.
It might be me.
I think as we kind of get into that tunnel, Cordy will reach into his pack and take out a mushroom and just kind of crush it in his hands and then use prestidigitation to make them float, and it's like a little light source, like the mushroom glows.
Sick. Awesome. So as you follow Thessalus taking the lead, but still enough light from your mushrooms to reflect and give light here. Thessalus, you would see, as you're moving through, the tunnels here are very unnatural. They are made of stone, not just like rock and earth. It is stone, and they are reflective, almost mirror-like as you move through. Cordy's light reflecting off of it, almost creating these strange, just changes in light and in what you're seeing. It's a bit disorienting as you move through. And you would see up ahead is what looks like a humanoid figure, a statue. And as the light reflects, you see a hand reaching for a quiver.
Oh no. Oh no, you did not just
In
do
stance.
that. That's
And you
so
see-
crazy.
You see a crow in mid-flight. Its little talon like just about to push off. Frozen. Elanor. The stone, similar to those on the wall, reflective. You would see your face reflecting back from the stone version of her.
Solus will charge down the hall, crashing off the mirrored walls, kind of pulling himself past. His breathing heavy, echoing in his helmet, almost like a growl. He gets to front of the statue. All of that drive leaves him at once. And he just collapses to his knees, seemingly unsure of where to go from here. Nothing else.
And I will say the tunnel continues onward from where you see her. Yeah, she's like off to the side, but the tunnel seems to go even further in. Yeah, it's like tucked off to the side. Yeah.
Having found his way back to Elanor, Thessalus seems unsure of what else to do, so he will remain as the rest of the group catches
The
up.
rest of you would start to arrive.
I think seeing that and seeing Thessalus there, Cordy would kind of walk up to the Elanor statue and just like kind of touch her arm and try to cast Reveal, see if there's anything magical hidden here.
Oh, yeah. As you cast Reveal. And do you have to roll for that too? Or is that just an
I have to
auto?
make a spellcast roll?
Okay, cool.
I'm not even shitting you. I just crit again.
You just crit again?
Two sixes. I'm not
Oh
even
my
shitting you.
god. That's crazy, dude. That's amazing. Okay.
I mean, rule of threes. Have to
What's
do it again.
happening? What's happening?
I will tell you everything right
Whoa!
now. As you place your hand on Eleanor's arm there, this is a powerful, powerful curse. It is something, and it is anchored. It has a soul anchor to it. And with a crit, you would know there are only two ways to fix this. Killing the creature that did it, or using some powerful, powerful magic to break it. And I think you would know in this moment where you all are at as far as being recently brought back to life. Your magic is not there yet. There is someone here that could help with that.
Yeah.
But there is even risk, but you would know there's even risk in them attempting to break this. Like it could kill them.
Oof. I think a bit of the not so out there Cordy begins to come back, and you see this more so studied wizard begin to inhabit this body for a moment here, where he's like, "She's cursed." I think his eyes flash to Tegwin. He says, Soul anchor, binding it. I look to the rest. Because I think I look to Tegwin in hesitation. And then I look to the rest and I say, we need to kill the creature responsible. It will break it. I figured.
What's the creature responsible?
That I could not say. And I think I'll look down the hallway a bit more.
Is it even still here? It might have left.
I don't know.
Solace, having been given new purpose and a chance to save, Elanor will scramble to his feet, drawing his sword, and driving further into the tunnel.
Okay. Okay. What's everyone else doing in this moment here?
Róisín just follows behind the Solace, almost preternaturally calm about everything. He just stoically strides forward in silence.
Okay.
Doc isn't like calm about this, but is like just like, we have to go, we have to get this done. And most of it is because obviously they want to get Elanor back, but also they know the quicker this is solved, the quicker they can go back to their gravestone.
Yeah. Okay.
Hugo remains a few steps back as they stare at Elanor and touch her face and tries once again with the connection.
Just a wall.
Get you back. Promise we'll get you back. Just wait here. And it'll be over soon. And then they run after the group.
Okay. Okay. So as you all march in to this area, you continue down through the tunnels. There is this, again, that reflective quality to them. The Solace, you are leading the pact. You see, as you move through the space, that bit of illumination from the mushrooms. You see your reflection. But you are drenched in blood. And you see in your helmet glowing eyes of a beast waiting to come out. But this helmet holds it back before the light kind of refracts differently and you see your regular visage in this moment. And then we jump back to Róisín. Róisín, you see, as the light flickers, yourself for a moment, but then as the shadows in space changes in a fraction of a second, you see a beast that is covered in these rose-colored feathers. This mouth that is filled with rows upon rows of needle-like teeth. The eyes hollow, monstrous. This beautiful nightmare. Before it flashes back to your regular visage as the light dances within this space. Before we jump back to Doc. Doc, you see in this reflection a little girl, bright-eyed, full of life, a smile, and she's breathing before it flickers a bit, the light, and you see your clank visage once more. And then we push back to Hugo. Hugo, you see someone different staring back at you. You see someone with flesh before that light fades and it shifts and you see who you are now. And then we see Cordy, this young wizard, an inquisitiveness about him. His robes not disheveled and tattered, fine material, maybe a little disheveled, but there is this focus in his eyes and no mushrooms growing out of him in this moment as the light flickers. And then you all start to hear a heartbeat. Boom, boom, bouncing off the walls as you continue to push forward down. The space itself shivers. These tunnels shiver, afraid of whatever is living in this place. And the weight continues to grow and grow and grow. And I'm going to go around and I'm going to ask each of you a question. It's the same question for everyone. But as you continue, there's one more reflection that you see. Reflecting in the stone. I'm going to start with Róisín, and then you can pick who goes next. But it's the same question. How do you see yourself dying?
Róisín sees himself at Cicatrix Grove. Not the death that he experienced falling to the Centurion, but instead he sees the death that he was planning to have happened, where he was to bear witness to the end of the world, and he would be the one to clear things away, pack up all the belongings, put the chairs on the tables, and either to witness the darkness just swallow everything up, and him along with it.
As you see that darkness swallow you and everything else in that moment, who would you like to pass it on to?
Let's go to Thessalus.
Yeah. Thessalus sees himself and all that he fears. His own sword is once again buried within his chest, and his skin is covered in 1,000 cuts. His blood, long spent, no longer flowing. And from the sword, his skin begins to change as, like Elanor, he sees it turn to stone slowly, spreading across him. And as that happens, the weight causes him to sink further and further into this water as it rises around him, till he is left unmoving, cold, as a statue.
As you see yourself becoming a statue too in this moment, Who do you pass it to?
Let's go with Hugo.
Hugo sees himself in a field strapped to a pole, arms outstretched, unable to move, unable to make decisions, unable to feel the rain or the sun or the feeling of the birds falling on their shoulders. And they see as person after person arrives and walks away. It is a death of self and a death of autonomy.
As you see this vision, that death of self and autonomy weighing on you in this moment, who would you like to pass it to, Hugo?
I will pass it to Cordy.
Sure. I think for Cordy, we see a bad trip psychedelic death. We see his head split open and as mushrooms pour out of it and grow almost like in fast forward. And then we see what can only be described as his consciousness just spreading throughout and going in every direction as far as possible until there's none of him left. And his body begins to just decompose and turn into shrooms.
So as we see yourself kind of split and just go until you no longer exist, you're simply just part of the web, and more of you becoming mushrooms throughout. Doc, Yara.
I was going to pick Tegwin, actually. No,
Oh, yeah. Doc sees sort of like a torrential downpour, like a heavy rain, as this clank body of theirs is sort of crawling through the mud in the graveyard that they were in up above, sort of crawling through the mud, a hand reaching out for something. And as they crawl, they slowly begin to rust and slowly begin to malfunction. And the white light that's in sort of the orbs where their eyes would be slowly begins to fade and dim. And as the light finally goes out, their hand stops frozen, reaching out for their old body.
Oh. As we see the hand reaching out, as the lights fade in the eyes, the rust taking over, the joints no longer able to move, we see you reaching out for your old body. All the visions fade, and you find yourselves in a chamber. The space goes to the left and right, but you see that the room is bisected by a large stone wall. You can see there's all kinds of intricate tiling on the floor. There's debris and rubble that line the left and right of this space. And you can kind of see from an angle what looks like more stone humanoid bodies as you enter into the space. Thanks for tuning into The Last Arcanist. We return in next week as the collective faces off against a twisted creature almost as old as Atalantia itself. New episodes every Thursday, so come escape the mundane with us into the realms of Atalantia.